Thank you, Junior. Now we're cooking up some wings. It's Friday. Irishman, Tom's here. Good to see you again.
Good to see you again,
I don't
Joe.
get the opportunity to hang out with you guys that much.
Well, it's always a good time when you're on here.
I'm psyched.
It's like the old days. We are making wings, yes.
And we've made one of these recipes before. I know
this
that
was the first thing we cooked on here, I believe.
Right?
Yes, it was a year ago.
Guinness staring me in the eye.
There is some Guinness. It's not quite as it's a little bit flat now, not quite as fresh as it was a while ago.
What you want for this recipe?
Yeah, you don't really want it fresh. You know, for drinking, of course, a little bit different. But
absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna make two different types of wings here. We're gonna do of course, our standard Guinness barbecue, which is basically a barbecue sauce that we modify with some spices, and then we cook in the Guinness.
Okay.
And then we're going to be doing a special wing, kind of a Thai honey sauce with a little bit of sriracha, some honey, some butter.
Sriracha, if folks don't know, it's a chili sauce.
It is
extremely hot. This bottle will last you 2 lifetimes, probably. If you
one bottle, bottle for about $3 will last you.
Right?
Yeah, probably about
Forever.
a year.
Yeah, I mean, and it's great though.
It's got some flavor to it. It's got a little garlic. It's got a little nice flavor to it and the heat. So
awesome.
We're going to squeeze you a little bit of that, but more honey. We have a little cilantro, some sesame seeds.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to demonstrate how to make a blue cheese at some point later on too. So how to make one at home.
Okay. Now, if memory serves me, you just to give people a hint about how long this takes. 15 minutes?
Yeah, about 12 to 15 minutes.
Right?
Yeah, with the wings in the fryer. You can basically tell when they start to float. They start to get kind of a crust on them. You can kind of tell when. Yeah, you look for that.
Take them out there.
12 to 15 minutes. 15 to play it safe if you like them a little on the crispy side.
And who doesn't?
Of course, I like them crispy too.
Do you ever go to the Wing Fest though? Are you a big fan of that?
I have not made it down there ever. I'm usually working and whatnot. But it'd be nice to make it down there at some point.
It's a good time, let me tell you. There's plenty of wings down there, and also anything going on at the restaurant. We're going to talk about some stuff later, but anything happening for the Bills next weekend? You guys are going to be busy again?
Of course, we'll be busy. Everyone will be coming out to watch the game, I'm sure.
Great place to watch the game. So. Definitely head down to the Irishman for the game, but more importantly for their food. It's great. We're going to be making an awesome sauce for these wings with a little Guinness, and we're going to work with some honey. We got a lot going on in here. Right now, there's a lot going on in the newsroom, and that's where Emily Lenahan is. All right, welcome back. Speaking of resources, we've got a lot going on in the kitchen this morning.
Yes, we do.
Chef Tom,
I have a little Guinness barbecue here we're going to make.
I love, you know, the Guinness sauce on these wings is just, such a perfect match. I mean,
it is. It kind of, you know, the Guinness kind of gives it a little darker, kind of like a little heavier flavor, and with the barbecue sauce and the sweetness, it does tend to work pretty well.
Perfect mix. So what are we doing now? How are we preparing this?
Well, I've got the deep fryer here, which is heated up to like 350. I've got that pretty much going. So
that's what you want, around 350?
Yeah, 350 is what we do the fryers at the Irishman. That's a good temperature to cook the wings.
Sounds good.
And then basically I'm just going to start boiling off the sauce here for the sriracha. Well, the sriracha kind of Thai honey glazed wings we're doing here. Start melting off the butter and start cooking off a little thing here, and then I can probably start putting some of the wings in here.
Okay. So. Now these are completely raw, right?
These are raw wings. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and we'll start, like I said, for like 12 to 15 minutes. I'm just gonna drop these right in. Yep. Okay. Do we prefer the flats here? Do you like the drumsticks or the flats? What do you like here?
I'm not a picky wing
eater.
We'll
go even. Yeah, anything, right?
I'll eat a wing, no problem. Drumsticks. I just got a little direction from Kelly, our director. Says, all right. Drumsticks. Is that a cue or something? How much time do we have left? Drumsticks. All right.
So we'll put those in. We'll start those. Let those
got the butter melting in there.
Start melting the butter, and we're just going to kind of create both sauces here.
Okay.
And basically, we just do 2 to 1. I'm sorry, this equal Guinness to barbecue.
Now it's kind of a flat Guinness, right?
Yeah, it's a flat Guinness I poured earlier. It's going to probably let the carbonation get out. Either way, it's going to cook out of it anyways. And basically, we're just going to reduce that. I've got a few more spices I've added to that, of course, a few different things, but we're just going to basically reduce that till the Guinness cooks out, and we'll have all the good Guinness flavor in there.
Okay, good. We got about 20 seconds or 30 seconds, so we're not going to show you everything just yet.
No, we'll start melting the butter here. We'll start getting things going.
How much butter are you using there?
That's about half a cup I probably started with.
Half a cup.
Depending on the amount of wings you're doing, you know, obviously you can make a bigger batch, you can scale it up, but basically with any wing sauce, with most wing sauces, you're going to want some butter in there, kind of give it a little bit of that good flavor.
Why not? I mean, butter can't hurt anything.
Well, you're already having deep fried wings, so you know, the way I look at it, what's a little butter going to do at this point, right?
Hey, why don't we just throw some mayonnaise on the situation?
That's for the blue cheese, yes.
Can't wait for that. That's coming up. All right. Got our half a cup of butter melting right now. When we get back, we're going to make this honey Thai glaze.
Yes.
What is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Honey exactly. Thai. And we're working with Guinness, of course, so it's going to be good. We'll be back in a few minutes. Switcheroo here in the kitchen. We've got our half a cup of butter melted here. We're making a A Thai honey wing, right?
Yes.
And a barbecue, of course.
Thai
with
honey
little
wing,
Guinness.
it's kind of a sriracha. It's basically sriracha is kind of the star of the sauce.
And sriracha, for folks that don't know, is a hot chili sauce.
Yes,
very
very
little
spicy.
goes a long way.
It's got a little rooster on there. You know, it's very good.
Great
stuff.
on anything, though, isn't
yes,
it?
yeah.
Put it on scrambled eggs,
soup,
right?
anything.
Put it on your shoe.
Well,
all right. Anyway,
you know, maybe not.
Tough to open, though.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
tough to
problem.
open. We may just have to cheat a little bit here and just do it
but
this
you got to be careful. That bottle will last you forever.
Yes.
And that's it right there. John's getting a nice shot of the sriracha right there.
All right.
Great ingredient to use, and apparently to use for wings. So there we go. That's a lot of it.
That is a lot right there.
These are going to be nice
start
and
with
hot.
that. Yeah, the butter's going to cut it a little bit, and then we're going to cut it. Of course, I have a little bit of brown sugar here, some cilantro, and some honey. We're going to put the honey in, let that kind of cook in here as well,
And
that
I'm
will
just
give it
going
a
to
little sweetness.
do this probably, I don't know if I'm ruining anything.
No, you're not
by
ruining it at all.
stirring
Actually, I
the
needed to get
barbecue
there.
here.
That's just basically, when you're doing, with this, if you're doing it at home, you can basically buy a store-bought barbecue, and you can basically cook in any beer. If you're not a huge fan of Guinness, you can basically cook any beer in and kind of get that same flavor.
Right.
Of course, ours is a little bit different. We have a few more spices, a few more things. We doctor up
secret
with
ingredients.
some secret
We'll
ingredients
never
for the
know.
barbecue sauce there. But the Guinness, of course, and then we cook that in. It's going to have a nice flavor to it.
Right, you're
so.
reducing it kind of on a low flame, right? It's going to thicken it up a little bit. There's
Yep.
Guinness in there. There's a pint of
Pint of the flatter Guinness.
Flat Guinness,
Right.
or flatter
I usually
Guinness,
do
right.
equal amount of Guinness to whatever sauce you're doing on there, and then once that alcohol cooks out and reduces, then you're
And honestly,
you're
that
gonna be good
smells
to go.
great. When you walk into the studio right now, the first thing you smell is the Guinness. I
Yes,
think more
it's
than
good.
anything else coming out of here.
Well, that's a good thing.
Got our
That's-
deep fryer going. Yeah, it's a great thing.
The wings are almost ready over there, and
Okay.
of course the Guinness wings are our most popular. I mean, that's our most popular variation
And
of the
speaking
Irishman.
of that, we're going to talk about a special event. It's called An Evening in the Village, and it's Saturday, September 8th from 5 to 9. There's going to be live music. It's basically what it is a really big block party. There's going to be live music, a free trolley rides and stuff like that. You can win a $500 village shopping spree. Lots of food, like Tom said. There's pictures of it right there. You guys are going to be highlighting these wings, and there's
the Guinness barbecue wings will be featuring. These are just
pork
gonna be a
sandwiches
special.
too.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be great. Once again, that's from 5 to 9, Saturday, September the 8th. Giant block party, in other words, and live music, obviously, and you can win that $500 village shopping spree, which sounds awesome right there. But the food is the reason why I would be there, that's for sure. All right, so we've got a lot of things bubbling up here right now.
A lot of things starting to, as you can see, everything's kind of starting to reduce here. I'm going to add a little bit of lime juice to kind of give this.
Now, if you don't like lime, you don't need to put that in there,
You don't
right?
need to put the lime in, but I think the citrus kind of, again, cuts the heat a little bit,
cuts the
gives
heat
it
a
a
little
nice, I've experimented with the sauce a little bit, it
Yeah,
kind
I
of gives it
mean,
a nice,
You did put a lot of sriracha in there. So
a lot of
that's for
sriracha. It might have a little bit of kick to it here, but
That's good. Well, that's what you want out of your wings sometimes,
right.
right? And if you don't, then you go to the barbecue style over there.
exactly. Yeah, not too much spice in this. We had a little bit of spice in there, but this one's obviously a little bit more, just the Guinness, the barbecue, just going to have a little more basic
You
flavor.
savor that a little bit more than you would the spicy one here. Now, what do we got?
I got a little bit of regular Frank's, just a tad bit to cut it in
Frank's,
there.
of course, that's a staple.
That's a staple, but
That's for sure.
this is definitely going to have more of a Thai theme to it.
All right, we've
And
got
of course-
about a minute, just so you know.
Okay, and we have our
obviously.
cilantro and our sesame seeds. We're going to add that at the very end to garnish here. So I will start to take my wings out. As you can see, they're
About
that's the
15
good rule
minutes,
of
right?
thumb. Yeah, that's
They're floating up there. They're
a
crispy,
good rule
right?
of thumb. You can see when they're floating like that. That's a
good sign.
Yes,
Okay.
that generally means they're done. And I know they've been in there long enough, so
That's for
we're
sure.
good to go on these. I'm just going to drain these off for 1 second here, and then we're going to toss them in the sauces we've just made.
Yeah, and you can never really overcook it too much, obviously. I mean, if you leave them in there for an
If
hour,
you leave it
you're
in
done,
for,
but,
like 20, 25 minutes. I've
yeah.
seen some wings, they tend to, the size becomes a factor because they just tend
Absolutely.
to, maybe
Absolutely.
some shrinkage going on there. So,
it can happen. It's one of those
can.
things. What can you do,
It
right?
can. So,
So let's
let's turn off the sauces here.
okay.
Those look reduced. This
I am
looks
just
good to
excited.
go.
I just caught a whiff of the sriracha
Getting a little
sauce
heat-
here.
getting a little
I
heat
hear
from
the
the
music
sriracha
already.
sauce.
You guys are playing the music on me.
Well, we'll have to plate
Playing
these
the
up.
music on.
Let's
Gotta wrap. All right, we're gonna wrap it up, but
As you can
this
see.
stuff is great, guys, and we're gonna show you the finished product in the next segment. Right now, we're gonna show it to you really quick. We're gonna have a look at weather when we get back. We'll take you outside for a live look at the traffic situation or the lake. I assume that's the lake. Yep, looking good. All right, we all love it, and we all dip our wings in it. It's blue cheese. Let's make some homemade blue cheese right now.
It's pretty easy to make, actually. It's just take a few ingredients. Of course, we have mayonnaise is actually the base for it here, so we'll start with.
Apparently.
Yeah, a little bit of mayonnaise.
Just
a little bit of mayonnaise.
Just a little bit of mayonnaise.
And then you can buy the crumbly blue cheese at the store, and again, you can do this to taste. This is about a half a cup. I mean, depending on the amount, you can always put more. If you like more of the blue cheese flavor, you can put a little bit more.
Higher or low on that?
Higher or low on that,
What's this,
exactly.
water?
That's a little white vinegar.
Oh, white vinegar, okay.
Gives it a little bit of flavor, and then,
No idea.
of course, some heavy cream.
That's what it is.
The heavy cream is kind of what ties it all together and kind of gives everything the creamy consistency there.
Now, Tom, of course, eyeballs things, but
I do eyeball things. Yeah,
but you can do the same thing at home if you're making blue cheese. What's that?
Kind of our Irishman recipe here. I got a few secret, a little white pepper, a few other things, and then basically.
How much of this would you say you make a day? Or on a weekend or during a game or something?
We go through several quarts. I'd say we go through like probably a quart or two on a Sunday. I mean, we go through a pretty decent amount.
That's a lot, okay.
Yeah, we make blue cheese. We make, again, like all the other dressings, we make them in-house at the Irishman, so we're making this pretty much every other day.
Good stuff. Well, Tom, thanks so much for coming in. Made some great wings. Amelia's here to try some wings in a few minutes.
Not now that I know all that mayo
Now you know what's in there. You didn't
Oh
want
my
to know
gosh.
that? Well, I hate to ruin it for you.
Makes it so good.